Well, gang, it looks like we're gonna be diving super deep into conspiracies tonight. Put your poppers on a leash, guys. Hide your kids, hide your wives while you're at it. If you're somebody's wife watching this, hide your hubbies, because today we're gonna be doing a new series, starting a new series with like podcast style, with Joe Rogan, conspiracies. And guess what, guys? You're in for a treat, because we're talking about the moon landing. We're talking about Atlantis as well, and there's a whole lot of other stuff that we're gonna be diving deep into, and to add a little bit more to the conspiracy, we're also going to be having the moon landing footage as well. Did it actually happen? I don't know, man. Let's dive right into it. If you get 5,000 likes on this video, and if you like it, I'm going to drop the next episode in this series. Roll it. The moon landing.
What what made you make the switch from like being a moon landing denier to like
that's a good question.
Crazy if we didn't, if you don't
No, I don't think we're crazy. No, this is my take on it. Absolutely, I don't know enough about astrophysics, about space travel, about the science that's, you know, the work that's been done, about how to get a rocket to the moon and back. I definitely don't know enough.
That's what I'm saying.
And I've looked at a lot of very
apologies for the music that was like inside the video, but wait for it.
Compelling documentaries that explain why they think it was hoaxed. And they'll show you some footage, and you can look at some of the footage and it looks fake as fuck. There's some footage that to me looks really doctored. There's
to this day?
Yeah, to this day. Okay. There's some when you ever seen ones where it looks like they're on wires, like the astronauts are on wires?
I have.
There's some where there's a video where they look like they're on a trampoline, they're bouncing around on trampolines. The physics are different in different videos. This is where it gets weird. Like the physics are different from the Apollo 11 moon landing. We see them waddle around on the surface of the moon. They're moving at like half speed. And then you see them in other ones, like the one where they bounce around the air. You're like, wow, they're moving different. They're in the same thing, but it looks different. The first one was very grainy. They showed it on a projection screen. There's a couple different possibilities. One possibility is it just looks weird because it's on the moon, and your brain is trying to interpret it, and your brain's going, well, that's fake, because you don't really understand with 1/6 Earth's gravity.
Yeah, and let's settle this really quickly. We're gonna play the moon original video, alright? So, to understand, you know, where we are. So this is the moon original Apollo program video. Neil Armstrong, first moon landing, 1969. And there are 3 camps of people, right? Let me know which one you fall into. Number 1, the first camp is that the moon landing is fake. The moon landing is fake. Everything about it is fake. We never went to the moon. That's number 1. And if you fall into that camp of people, drop 1 in the comments if you believe that moon landing was completely fake. The second group, however, they believe, yes, we went to the moon. That's number 2. Simple as that. If you think we went to the moon, drop 2 in the comments. Number 3. Now this one is where the conspiracy is at, and this one is the most entertaining, at least to me, because this conspiracy talks about we did go to the moon, but the videos of it are fake. The reason being, when we went to the moon and what the astronauts recorded just could not be shown to the public, because they saw, you guessed it, aliens. Oh, shit. They saw structures on the moon. They saw UFOs in the space. They saw UFOs following them and all that. And therefore, they just could not show the original recordings of the moon to the public. If you fall into this conspiracy group, put a 3 in the comments. I want to know where you guys are at. And yeah, the videos that they release is the reason why all of these conspiracies exist. That yeah, we never went to the moon, and that okay, we went to the moon, but the videos are fake. And the reason they're fake is because they saw something that they shouldn't have, and they just did not reveal it to the public. And yeah, there's just plenty of evidence out there that supports these claims, vice versa, that we never went to the moon, or we went there but the footage is fake. But one thing is for certain, the videos that they released just did not work well with the people. That's what started it all. That's what caused all of these conspiracies to come out, right? And couple that up with one of the whistleblower. We had plenty of whistleblowers. Yo, thank you for subscribing. I just saw that. We had plenty of whistleblowers that came out and they said that, yep, the dark side of the moon is real. and NASA was supposed to reveal it, or they should have revealed it, but they did not.
30 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. Straight shadow. I'm gonna step off the limb now.
Yeah, this is the other one, huh? One step. One giant step for mankind.
One small
step.
One giant leap for mankind. Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent?
Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Holy, right? Crazy if he did, or crazy if he did not either. Yeah, so that's let's circle back to this one, and we're gonna get down to Atlantis in a second too. Wait for it.
But he really does to a body. That's one possibility. Another possibility, which has been shown to be true, is that some of the stuff that they passed off as being legitimate photographs of space travel was actually test runs where they blacked out the background and pretended that they were in space. And there's one really clear example of this. It's Michael Collins. Michael Collins, who was the guy who was aboard Apollo 11.
Right.
In Gemini 15, there's a photo of him in the middle of a what is it when they walk around outside the spacewalk? They call it spacewalk?
Spacewalk.
Why does that seem like a bad word?
Spacewalk.
It's like spacewalk. Like it doesn't seem like that's the official title. Well, he's in the middle of a spacewalk.
It's probably something more.
Yeah,
A little more syllables.
yeah, something slicker. Anyway, so he's doing the spacewalk and he's got this harness on. He's holding on to this like thing, and it was apparently just an image that had already been published of him in a training exercise, and they blacked out the background and flipped the picture upside down.
Right there.
It's the same.
Yeah, and you know what? This is why a lot of people have trust issues, right? Because a lot of the videos and images that came out were doctored. They were doctored, maybe for to make them look pretty, or maybe because they kind of felt cute. Okay, let's Photoshop that. But if you're gonna do something like that to an event that was just so massive, or supposed to be massive, you're gonna, yeah, people gonna have trust issues with it, and I get it. Like, I understand, like, all of these sides here that believe that we never went to the moon, or we did, bro, we did, or we did go to the moon, but the videos are fake, essentially, right? And this is one of those mysteries that I don't think is gonna be solved until they actually declassify everything around it. And whistleblowers came out, and there was one of the whistleblower, I'm forgetting his name, but he came out and he did say that he would go under oath. He can testify before Congress too, that what he said is true. And what he said was that he saw clear pictures and evidence of the dark side of the moon when they went to the moon at NASA. And there were aliens, and there were structures on the far side, or the back side, or the dark side of the moon. And he thought that it was gonna be shown on the national TV, but it never came. Therefore, he became a whistleblower, and he spilled the beans. And guess what? He was dead, or he was found dead. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Yeah, I'm gonna try and find his picture and show you. Okay, one
Exact photo, same exact photo. I mean, people have lined it up and switched it over. It's the same photo. It's just been edited. So the one on the left was them practicing how to use these. I don't guess that the harness is some sort of a thing that he's hanging on to. I guess it moves him around a little bit.
Right.
They were trying to practice it on the left, and on the right they just passed it off. But those are publicity photos, right?
Right.
So you got to go, well, okay, well, who approves of publicity photos? It could easily be just some idiot who works in the publicity department who did marketing, who didn't think they had enough photos from the moon that were good of spacewalks. It's probably insanely difficult to take a spacewalk photo. So, does that mean that they faked the moon landing? No, but it means that people fake things.
Yeah.
So you got to you got to be really objective in looking at that. Right. Okay. So people say fake things. They definitely filmed a lot of the training exercises that they did of the moon landing. Right. They filmed a lot of shit. They definitely did. If that has already been proven, that they took this fake photograph and they tried to pass it off as a real spacewalk, it's entirely possible that some of the stuff that they filmed, they made out to look like they were on the moon when they were not. But does that mean they didn't go to the moon?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
And this is why the number 3 conspiracy makes a whole lot of sense, right? That we did go to the moon, but we faked the footage, because there were things in it that they could not show us. And I was searching for it. I could not find that whistleblower. I'm gonna still try.
And so when I was saying it proves that they didn't go to the moon, my critique of myself is that I didn't look at it objectively because I wanted one conclusion to be true. And I wanted that conclusion to be that the moon landing was fake. So I looked at it and I was saying to myself, okay, did I come to this conclusion because there's a lot of evidence that shows it to be fake, or have I seen a lot of evidence that looks fake? And does that mean that they didn't go to the moon? Right. No, it doesn't. There's a bunch of different possibilities. There's a ton of different possibilities. There's also the possibility that whatever...
I found it! I found it, brothers! I found it! So, this guy. Yeah, maybe you guys have seen his face before. So yeah, this is NASA, we are all foreigners doing. Yeah, so this guy actually said what I just said, right? That he thought that it's gonna be on the TV, they're gonna reveal the truth, but they never revealed the truth of the dark side of the moon, the structures, the aliens being there and all that. And apparently, according to this man, he's no longer with us. I'm paraphrasing. This is because I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, like this is what he said. It's wild if true. Wild if true, man.
Photographs they took
that NASA has
can get severely damaged in the radiation of space, and that it was really difficult to do.
Right.
That's possible too, and that they decided somehow or another that they were going to pass off these.
Orion
that they
belt,
actually did go, and they decided they're going to pass off some of these fake videos. So there's a bunch of possibilities. The possibility that it looks fake because I'm dumb, and because I don't understand anything about the physics of 1/6 Earth's gravity, and it just looks weird because it's shitty film. It's 1969. That's possibility number one. Number two is they fake some things. Or number three is they didn't really have good footage because, like, you couldn't take film through the airport. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, people would go through those radar detectors, and your film would get jacked, and they weren't responsible.
I didn't have any film, but I know
people that I have friends that are photographers, and my uncle's a photographer, and he would tell me you can't send the film. Like, if you have you take a roll of film and awesome pictures.
How would they get it through?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they did. But I know that some film has been damaged. Or maybe it's an urban myth. Maybe.
Oh, man. I mean, listen, man. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to this one, the Atlantis one, right? We may do like a dedicated video on Atlantis, Hollow Earth, and all that in the future with Antarctica and all that, right? But while we're on the topic with Joe Rogan's and conspiracies, I want this to be like a series on the channel because I found the discussion very enjoyable. And if you do too, hey, I got you with that, right? Roll it.
You know, over, let's say, 12, 13,000 years ago, which would be the time frame. So, like, surely there would be several different changes of language, but I think it represented a civilization that was doing great things. They were more global than what many people think would be possible. Atlantis was said to be a kingdom made up of, or an empire, excuse me, made up of 10 kingdoms. And then there was the lost city of Atlantis, which was the capital, which was said to be made up of concentric circles, 2 of water, 3 of land, and essentially that they were obliterated by a cataclysm as passed down by Plato, although it's worth mentioning that Plato got the story of Atlantis from Solon, who was his uncle separated by 6 generations. But what most people don't realize is that Solon had traveled to Egypt, and so it's the ancient Egyptians is where that tale comes from, which makes it even more bizarre because I would argue that the most spectacular ancient civilization is the Egyptians. I mean,
Jamie, will you pull up the photos of these concentric circles?
Jamie, pull that up. Not now, Mom. Jamie is about to pull something up.
Tell him.
Yeah, the Richat, R-I-C-H-A-T. It's worth mentioning that.
Got it already here.
Yeah, in the first couple, I just want to say it's Richat. I used to call it Ricot. I was mispronouncing it. But let me ask you this, Joe, real quick. When you saw my video, was that the very first time you had ever seen this thing before?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So many.
Jamie, blow that up. Pause. No Diddy. But blow that up. Blow that up. Meaning, like, make the image bigger. Can a brother perhaps get that image to be bigger right now?
When I first saw this, I was like, what the fuck is that? By the way, you see that white? All those white blemishes?
Uh-huh.
That's salt. This was under the ocean, and people let me just say, you mentioned
Holy,
Randall
looks like
Carlson
a-
and Graham Hancock.
It does look like a crop circle. Hancock? Okay, pause. It does look like a crop circle, and it was found underwater. Shh. I mean, ocean, under ocean. Shh.
I love them. And I know for sure that they don't particularly think this is the site for a few different reasons. So let me say there's absolute doubt. Even I am not 100% certain. I'm not even 100% certain Atlantis existed. What I am certain is that humans were doing spectacular things in a cataclysmic event happened called the Younger Dryas and reset something for somebody.
Is there a natural explanation for
Yes.
this formation?
Yes. So let me say that it is considered to be mysterious. They're not 100% certain of it. However, the consensus is that it was a volcanic dome that had risen and collapsed multiple times, like 100 million years ago, allegedly. I say allegedly, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I would like to know where sometimes they get these figures from. Like, explain to me why it was 100 million years ago and not 99 or 98, because here we are talking about how crazy things changed in just the last 12, 13,000 years. So when they throw around these numbers, 1 million years in itself is an incredibly long period of time. But getting back to your question, some had originally thought that maybe it was an impact site from an asteroid or perhaps, but there's no.
Here's the question I have, right? Okay, let's just say Atlantis is real or whatever, right? Why would they hide it though? What would be their real reason for hiding the truth from the public? What would be their real reason for hiding the truth about the Hollow Earth conspiracy? If true, I'm gonna drop if true. Now listen, I love these conspiracy theories, or conspiracies, or theories, or all of it. I love it, and I'm sure if you're watching and if you're around this point in the video, you love it too. You love it. You're seeking the truth, and you just want to be entertained too because it's late at night, or perhaps you're watching this on an evening or afternoon or morning. Yeah, shout out to you for being here. But the point is, minus all of that, I love this, you love this, minus all of that, for real, right? For real. What would be the real reason of hiding the Atlantis truth from the public? And all Atlantis is like, inner Earth. It's a city. There's also Shambhala, which I don't know much about it. The reason I know about it is because there's a game called Uncharted 2. Have you ever played that game? Uncharted is a phenomenal series. It's a video game, right? So yeah, it also, that game was based off of Shambhala as well. So inner Earth, Hollow Earth. Basically, you got entrances, North Pole, South Pole. You got entrances, one being in North, one being at South, at Antarctica, and essentially you go inside and you discover Atlantis, and you find the inner world where there's a city and there's probably an alien species too, right? Like, that's kind of like the theory. And recently we did a video of that Antarctica alien UFO cave video that came out, that was shot back in 2022. A 4chan user leaked it, but again, it's a leak, does not mean it's real. So gotta be real with you guys and do not believe that 100%. And the reason I am talking about it, and the reason that went viral the other day and people started talking about that Antarctica 2022 alien egg UFO leak from a cave with an entity that was also in a pod sleeping 8 feet tall. Not my opinion, that's what's being reported, and I made a video. I will link you towards the end of it, so don't worry about it if you're interested. But the reason it blew up, and the reason I'm talking and everybody's talking about it, is because News Nation recently came out and they had that Barber, James Barber, I believe his name, or correct me if I'm wrong, but something Barber, no disrespect, just the name is not coming up right. My memory is foggier than Snoop Dogg's bathroom at times. But he came out and he was a whistleblower. He revealed the footage of the egg-shaped UFO that was part of the crash retrieval program, where they captured that, they retrieved it. That video came out, people were clowning on it, and some were believing it, some were not so much, but that caused that discussion and everybody's talking about it. And guess what? 2-3 days after, the Antarctica cave video came out. And again, it's kind of like linked with Admiral Byrd, who also talked about, hey, Antarctica, if you go through it, there's another continent there that they're not telling you about. So there's just way too many conspiracies, and of course Atlantis is like part of it as well in a way. Man, I love these conspiracies, but what's the real reason for them hiding it?
No evidence for it. Like, there's none of the
The
nano.
problem is there's these concentric circles.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything. I mean, obviously I'm not an archaeologist, but I've never seen anything like this in I mean, if you study structures that are like man-made structures, I've never seen anything like this that humans have made, but I've definitely never seen like. Go to that one where you.
If you just go to Google Earth, you'll be able to find this quite quickly. It stands out, and it's why they call it the Eye of Africa or the Eye of the Sahara. All right, so just pan out a little bit. And
what's Eye of Sauron? I heard about that too. Is that like part of it, or is that something completely different?
Provide us with a much. Yeah, keep going. All that white is salt. In fact, I had a friend, Josh Sigurdsson, that went out there and tasted that shit off the fucking ground. That's salt. Because a lot of people say, this was never under the ocean. And I'm like, all right, you see all that? Even Randall Carlson himself, which let me just say, he, for a few reasons, doesn't, he favors the Azores. He doesn't think this is likely to be the location for a few reasons.
He favors what?
The Azores, the island chain, which would be, it's.
And he thinks that was Atlantis?
To him, he's partial towards that. But so he analyzed this site, and you see all the striations, how it looks like the ocean, so that's all water erosion, Joe. And if you scroll in, so remember when Randall was on your show and he showed you the Missoula floodplains and all those giant ripples from the huge current that it went through?
Okay, I don't know why I misheard that. I thought he said giant nipples. Thankfully, we had the captions there, but I was thinking giant nipples. Wait, what?
This is here. So scroll in, right there where your cursor is, Jamie.
Jamie!
Scroll right in. You're going to see those same water ripples. Keep going, because this what you're looking at here is panned out. This is many miles. Like, keep in mind, this structure is 30 miles across.
That's crazy. That looks like the bottom of the ocean, like if you see where the water breaks on the sand.
Yep. And I have
there's
that's better
crazy.
Pictures. And that, just to clarify, that white.
Okay, crazy. But another thing is that you're looking at it after being told what to think of it. So therefore, you're thinking about it, right? Because they told us, hey, looks like waves, underwater, water, ocean, this and that. So these keywords are in your mind, and then boom, you get shown the picture, which I'm not gonna deny it does have similarities, but yeah, we're being told to think about it, and therefore we're thinking about it. So there's that aspect to it as well.
Is salt, and that is because that's a lot of people don't know, Joe, that the Sahara Desert wasn't a thing until approximately 5,000 years ago. It's only in the last several years, and by the way, I'm quoting MIT research here, that the Sahara goes back and forth from green to desert approximately every 20,000 years.
Damn.
They believe it has something to do with the Earth's tilt, and that's worth discussing. But so this whole area,
and you know what? Another theory, conspiracy theory here, is that this whatever he said is true also for Antarctica as well. Meaning, because they have discovered pyramids as well in Antarctica, which is insane. Like pyramids covered in ice, and it's being said, and there have been maps that have been found that show Antarctica when there was like trees, vegetation, life back thousands of years ago. There are maps that were discovered too. Are those real? Are those fake? Could not tell you, honestly. But there's that aspect to it as well. This is why, you know, we got Egyptian pyramids. Pyramids are found in Antarctica. And of course, pyramids are found all over the world. But the ones that are sticking out are the ones in the top three one in Egypt. And of course, there have been in Antarctica as well. And the science behind it is just... It's crazy to fathom how someone made those pyramids, of course, even in Egypt, but how someone could have made those pyramids in Antarctica with those harsh conditions, harsh weathers, and being able to perfectly make those. Yeah, it's just, there's just way too much. It's just hard to comprehend it, especially for the time when they were made, essentially. They were made thousands and thousands of years ago, and of course man did not have the technology, is what's being said, to make those even with modern day technology. It's near impossible to make these pyramids the way they are. And of course the Egyptian pyramids are underneath exactly those those 3 stars. I don't know the term of it. I mean, I knew about it, but now it's not coming up. Of course it's not gonna come up when I'm making a video, but there are 3 stars in the sky, right? And these pyramids in Egypt are just underneath it. I believe the Orion Belt, something like that. Yeah, so crazy, man. If you want to see more of this, let me know, and also check out this video on the screen. Yes, this was the video that I was talking about, the alien egg that they retrieved from Antarctica, and there's plenty of other footage as well, not just that. So check out this video on the screen, and I'll see you right there.